Yes.
You answer to all of them, or you answer depending on
and worse, buggers.
Yeah, we are live, everybody. Let's wait to 5. I now declare the meeting open at 5 p.m. A warm welcome to everybody in attendance today. We acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which we live, work and play. Pay our respects to Darkinjung country and elders past and present. We recognise the continued connection to these lands and waterways and extend this acknowledgement to the homelands and stories of those who will also call this place home. We recognise our future leaders and the shared responsibility to care for and protect our place and people. I remind councillors and all those present that your image and what you say may be broadcast live to the public, so please be mindful of your actions and your comments. You should avoid making statements that might defame or offend, and note that a recording of this meeting will be retained online and in council's archives. Please turn your mobile phones off or switch them to silent. Filming and photography are not permitted in the meeting. Anybody observed to be filming the meeting may be asked to leave. Are there any apologies for this evening? I note that we have Mayor McKenna as an apology. And for remote access, we have Councillor Trent McQuaid and Councillor Belinda Neal. Is Belinda here yet? Can't see. That was the request. Okay, so I've got a motion here that the committee...
Sorry, it's like Councillor Walsh is also dialing in.
Not me.
Just the member.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, so I have a motion here that the committee approves the request by Councillor McQuaid to attend the Economic Development Committee meeting on 7th of July 2026 at 5 p.m. by audio-visual link. He is unable to attend in person due to unforeseen carer responsibilities. Number 2, approves the request by Councillor Neal to attend the Economic Development Committee meeting on the 7th of July 2026 at 5 p.m. by audio-visual link, as she is unable to attend in person due to personal reasons. And 3, notes the apology from Mayor McKenna. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Mooland. We'll now put that motion. All those voting in favour of the motion, please raise your hands. Keep it raised.
What am I doing? I'm not a member.
Unanimous, but noting at the moment Councillor Neal is not on, but should come on soon. So yes, 4 is a quorum. So unanimous, I declare that motion passed. Disclosures of interest. I now ask committee members to disclose any conflict of interest they may have in the items in tonight's agenda. Firstly, I can confirm I have no conflicts of interest. Councillor Smith?
Nothing to declare, Chair.
Councillor Mooland?
No, it's disclosures.
Excuse me, Deputy Mayor Mooland? Councillor McQuaid?
No conflicts, Chair.
Councillor Neal or Councillor McGregor? If they turn up, I will ask the question. Confirmation of minutes of the previous meeting. Have a mover. Councillor Smith. Seconded, Councillor Mooland.
Councillor Walsh has just come online.
Observer, yeah. Any discussions on the minutes? No discussions on the minutes. I'll put that motion. All those in favour? Unanimous. Declare that motion carried. On to the report. So we really just have the 2 reports tonight. So let's see how quick we get the meeting done. Item 2.1, update on the Australian Masters Games 2027. I invite Melanie Smith, Director of Community Recreation Services, to speak to the report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'll take the report as read. If anyone has any questions, it's just a progress update on where we are in regards to planning.
Could I ask a question through your chair?
Councillor Castles.
So I noticed that were other councils, I know it's Newcastle and Central Coast, but there was mention of other councils up in the sort of Hunter area not now being involved. Did we know that earlier on in the piece, or is that new information? Sorry if we did know it earlier on in the piece.
We knew it before it went to the floor of council.
Yes.
So they withdrew just before we
Just before that. Okay, yeah.
Sorry, just,
Councillor Smith.
and I did read the report and I'm sure it's there, but I think it said we will be needing to do a quarter 1 budget adjustment. Is that right? Going to report. How much was that for?
That's for the entire amount. So the amount isn't in the budget at this point in time. It'll be a budget adjustment.
So what will be that amount?
It is 300,000.
Oh, okay, all right.
So I have a question. The netball seems to be going to Narara, the stadium, with the number of people, but they agreed that that's big enough for them. It just seems a bit, it seems a little bit, I mean, how rock solid are they in the venues? And for example, would they move to Gosford or Wyong rather than?
We will work with CAS. So CAS determine venues in terms of size and scope, and we will work with them to be as flexible as possible.
And the other question was, with some of the other councils participating, would we see the number of sports increasing here?
Potentially.
Have they got to that yet?
Yeah. So potentially there may be an increase in the number of sports. So the new code's being considered a dragon boating, athletics, volleyball and golf.
A dragon boat,
Athletics,
volleyball,
and golf. And CAS undertaking inspections.
for those 4. Excellent. Any other questions, Councillor Smith?
In the table that says there are different codes and venues and the participants, so that's the competitors, it's not the audience as such, is it? Do we have any projections on or?
So if we go by the previous events, their expectation was between 8,000 to 10,000 athletes and supporters combined.
Right, okay. It was in the report. Maybe that total figure. I guess I was looking at the using Polytech for the closing, and it's got I think 2,500. So that's obviously competitors, but not. Hang it, yeah, the
Supporters.
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 Hang on us.
Page 2 of the report.
That was page 13.
Councillor McQuaid.
Yeah, with those numbers, was the typical contribution or benefit to the local economy, was that around about 3 million, roughly?
Higher than that. So the predicted economic on page 12 of the report is between 12 and 15 million.
To the entire coast or split between the councils?
I understand it's split between the councils, but I need to confirm that for you.
So that's like Lake Mac and...
No, Newcastle and...
Oh, sorry, Newcastle, yeah.
So...
The others withdrew.
Yeah, the 2001 games generated an estimated economic return of 17.1 million.
That was 25 years ago.
And so that's a very conservative figure.
And so if we've got approximately approximately 2,000 participants. Let's assume that they bring one person each. We're up to 4,000 people staying for 10 days each. That's quite considerable. And then
With an expected spend of $1,200 per person.
1,200 times 4,000 is your number. Just acknowledging Councillor Neal has joined. Councillor Neal, you there? When you're ready, yep. You're on mute if you are talking. Councillor Eaton.
Sorry, if you covered this, does it mean that the others pulling out that we have to put in more money?
That's a good.
I suppose.
Even if we get more sports, we still don't have to put more money in? Good. Well, that's a win.
It's a win-win.
Yeah.
Councillor Neal. I can talk to her. You're on mute, Councillor Neal, if you can hear us. We'll keep going until you go off mute and turn your camera on.
Just quickly through you.
Councillor Castle.
To the director probably. So these events are obviously held every 2 years from what I'm reading at the Australian Masters Games. So it's just that it's returning to New South Wales for the first time in more than 25 years is what it says. So do we have the sort of economic sort of contribution, if you like, 2 years ago or 4 years ago? You've got that info?
So the original report that came to the committee had the table in it.
That's right, yeah.
I'd have to go back and.
That's fine. I'm just making sure that we've got up to date things that we're making it sort of our estimate. Particularly.
So, Chair, can I ask a question? I mean, I think this is really positive. I think it's really good. Will we be coordinating in-house or are we contracting out? Or do we do the coordination or are we just providing the venues?
We don't do.
We don't do any of the coordination.
We do the CAS, do the coordination.
Yeah.
We support, so we provide in-kind support. So that might be media, marketing, those sorts of things, and venue.
Yeah.
We don't do it.
Okay. And is that, I mean, November's a busy time of year. Do we? That, I mean, I'm sure that's all being considered. Sort of thinking about what else was happening at that time of year. Very important.
One of the things happening mid-September and end of September is the Rugby World Cup, which we should have the Springboks here. I think the Netball World Cup is just after that or just before that. We might have people here, but not in November.
When's the Lakes Festival?
I just look.
Anyway, I mean, yeah.
Okay, Councillor McQuaid again.
Did anyone ask why the other councils pulled out? Is my first question, and the second one is regards to what sort of framework are we using to identify what benefits we're getting out of it financially, if any.
To answer your first question, I haven't got that off the top of my head. I'd need to come back to you with that one. In regards to the other councils withdrawing from the process. In terms of framework, CAS have a framework with a formula where they can sort of estimate the economic return. So that's the framework that we're using.
No worries. There's no doubt it's good, but I just wanted to work out how we're measuring the success.
So it's a framework that CAS have used over the decades that they've run the games.
And it would be the same calculation that organisations use.
Councillor Milton.
The festival, Lakes Festival's the week before.
Okay. All right.
Councillor Neal.
Yes, thank you. I had a little bit of trial and tribulation I had with my computer and the phone trying to get on at the same time, so neither did.
Like that buttons on in the chamber, isn't it? First of all, before you talk, have you got any conflicts in tonight's meeting?
I have no conflicts. Just quickly back to the minutes. I noticed in the minutes of the last meeting, I'm not listed as being present, though I did move and do several things during the meeting. So I don't know if I assume you've already dealt with the minutes. You may need to recommit them to add me as being present.
Okay,
You need to recommit.
as we recommit 1.6, which is the previous minutes. Apart from the recommendation, if we have add number 2, which is to add councillor Neil as being present at meeting.
Mhm.
Okay,
And just once you've dealt with that, just going back to the present item that we're dealing with, I was just wondering, in terms of the sports we're having, I note that netball is one of the games that's listed. Which venue was it proposed to use? Because my understanding was that there wasn't a facility within the Central Coast area which is satisfactory for that sort of size competition.
So in the report, it refers to Niagara Park Stadium as the venue of choice for netball.
Yeah, how many courts do they have there? I thought that was only probably small.
I will need to come back to you. I think it's.
No, I saw that in the report, but I don't think it's a big venue. But I've not been there and counted the courts myself. But
Councillor Neil, that'll be up to the organisation that's running their games. They will decide where they will go to, understanding what's available at Niagara Park or Gosford or Wyong.
I'm just getting advice on the number of courts.
We've got a number 2 for the minute.
We'll re-vote on it.
There's a huge number of participants on
Shut
that.
up. So while we're getting that back to the minutes,
So sorry, can I just jump back to that one? Sorry.
yes,
So it's Niagara Park holds 700 spectators. The number of courts. Come back to you with that. But again, CAS are the ones that select the venues.
I know it's not so much that I want one to be selected. I just am concerned that we don't actually have a venue that can actually do the job.
yeah, and that's up to the organisation that's managing it. Okay, we're back to the minutes on the screen. We've added second point of add councillor Neil as present to the meeting. Councillor Smith, you're still okay for moving that? Councillor Molan seconding it?
Yes.
Correct. Okay, let's vote on that. Those in favour?
Aye.
Unanimous. Thank you. Okay. Any more questions on the Australian Masters Games 2027?
Yeah, just quickly, Chair.
Yes, Councillor McQuaid.
In regards to the reporting, like I said before, is it possible when it comes back to us, either after the event, to have Central Coast LGA specific reporting and what benefits we got out of it, or even before it, or the next event update?
We can have a chat with CAS, try and get a breakdown. Probably after the event would be more.
Yeah, that'd be good.
To expand on that a little bit, the venues that are going to be used, which are council venues, the sport also pays us as a rental fee for that venue as well. There'll be a positive amount that will come in, as well as the economic benefit to the coast.
That's helpful.
Yes. Okay, any other questions? Take that as a no. So the recommendation is that the committee notes the Australian Masters Games 2027 update information report. We've got a mover, Councillor Mooland.
Sorry, it's a bit late. Can I still ask a question? You haven't got a lot.
I haven't put it yet, but yes.
I assume we're going to put together some sort of like tour package, people to look at, like in terms of, the ones who are coming here, other things to do on the Central Coast.
Tourism.
Yeah.
activities. Yeah, so the event will work in tandem with Central Coast Tourism, and we'll certainly develop package attractions, a whole range of things.
Yeah. What about accommodation?
So CAS predominantly works with the accommodation with the venues. So my understanding is those conversations are well and truly evolved, and the future bookings are pretty.
And just to expand on that, even on the Games Facebook post the other day when they said it was coming to Central Coast and Newcastle, there was already many people with trying to figure out what sport they were going to be participating in and where it was going to be so they could book accommodation. So well ahead. Okay, so seconded by Councillor McQuaid. All those in favour?
Aye.
Unanimous. Thank you. Moving on to item 3.1, progressing the Warnervale Business Precinct. I invite Shannon Turkington, Acting Director of Environment and Planning, to speak to the report.
Yeah, thank you. So this is a standing report of the most recent progress, and I will just hand over. Presentations.
Or we'll take a read.
Oh, sorry, no presentation.
Good evening, Chair and fellow committee members. Today's update report, last time we were here in April, we started to have a bit more of an idea in relation to the preliminary subdivision, and we started to get some costings in regards to what it might cost for the bulk earthworks. We also had a very high level valuation done at the time, which was pushing us in the direction that industrial versus residential might have been the way to go. Once we started to dig a little bit further and we started getting some figures back about what it may cost to actually develop that site into industrial, because of the contours of the land, the prices have come in quite high. And also we've started to get a further detailed analysis before we were due to come back to the committee for recommendations. And it seems that actually we're now starting to see a possible shift around the other way, where residential actually may be a better recommendation for the value of that land. So the report today really just outlines some of the things that we request to be able to further look into to see whether or not it makes financial sense for council to explore the residential path rather than the industrial before we make recommendations to the original resolution back in August last year about what options may be available to council. Some of those things that are driving it is some of the industrial shortages have sort of been caught up in different areas where other sites have come to market before we've actually managed to get to that point. Also, the lack of clarity on whether or not the link road will have any type of government investment in it, but also the location. It's right next door to an educational precinct. Just over the road, you have a couple of new estates, and also the connectivity with the train station at Warnervale may actually make this more valuable as a residential, low density residential, and possible maybe some mixed use, whether that's educational, to be able to go into that site. Makes it more appealing to a developer rather than spending 40+ million, some of the estimates that we're getting, to be able to get the land flat enough to create the industrial sites that we want.
We can bring you back in about 10.
Taking a couple of those things into consideration, we were hoping by this stage to be able to come back to the committee with some recommendations, which was the original resolution from August. We're hoping that by the September meeting, we'll be able to do that after we've further analysed and have all the data in front of us to make those recommendations.
Bill?
Yes.
What's the zoning at the moment? Because I don't think there was an issue with the zoning as it is now for industrial, but is that a problem for residential as it is now?
Yeah, there would need to be a change. That's correct.
Any questions here, Councillor Smith?
Yeah, so I'm just looking at the Google map. So it's that section on the on my left of the railway line.
Yes,
So that's been in the pipeline for a very long time.
yes.
And we're only just realising that it might not be.
Well, when we picked this up,
I mean, I realise property values change and all that kind of stuff, but it's been in the pipeline for a very long time. Yeah,
I think the big key link to that is the link road,
right.
in particular about getting those sites. And I think that's always been something, as far as I've looked back, that was going to be a key role into that industrial area, the contouring of that land as well. When we start getting into detailed bulk earthworks and starting to get an idea of what it may cost to be able to do those industrial sites, is where we start running into a bit of a problem. There's been such an increase in expense in getting those works done than what it may have been 7 or 8 years ago.
Yeah.
So 7 or 8 years ago maybe cost us 14 million, whereas now that may actually cost 43 and upwards. So it may actually reduce what the value of that site may actually be as an industrial, whereas the bulk earthworks that are required to be able to do density residential will be a lot lower.
Yeah.
We just want to make sure that what we do put forward is the correct recommendation and or options for council to consider.
Okay. So again, look, I'm not opposed to the site being used for something, of course, because it's already big. I guess what I'm interested then, if we're sort of starting to steer towards a residential, is that we come back with some options in terms of what that might look like. I mean, I assume the first sort of lot of thinking is that we just sell it off to a developer to do residential, but I'd really like to see some options about making it affordable, making it essential worker or whatever. I'm not sure it's the perfect location, but I'd just like to see some options around that so that we can play a bigger role in providing that housing that's needed or facilitating it if necessary. So can I just ask for that rather than we just come back with an estimate of we can flog it up for this much to a developer to, do a subdivision, I guess. That would be the automatic assumption. Yeah.
There may be some use still of the land, whether it's educational precinct. I know there's been some other options, but it is a big piece of land.
Yeah.
That needs to be considered, but we're just wanting to make sure that we give the appropriate information that we've gone down that path, rather than having a look and it actually doesn't make sense.
So you're mentioning the proximity to the train station. Is that walking distance from the train station? I wouldn't have thought it is.
About 900 metres.
Oh, okay.
That's
Have
it.
to cross the line and
No.
okay.
So that'd be the closest one, wouldn't it?
That's right. Well, there's.
Bill's handling.
Councillor Neal.
Yes, I sort of felt a bit in reading the report that we were sort of jumping one way and then jumping another, which concerned me. There is obviously rising costs in all sorts of construction and building, and it's been noted by virtually universally. The other issue that may impact on the decision is the fact that there's already a residential housing slump, and potentially that may go lower. Is that going to be taken into account in bringing back a final recommendation as well? Because I don't want to change our strategy towards residential and then find we have another financial problem with funding it with the cost of residential housing.
Through your chair to council. I know the report looks like it's jumping. We just want to make sure that we have looked at both options before we present something, rather than someone saying we didn't look at it. And we've looked at a more detailed evaluation of what we were proposing, and we're starting to see that cost to get to industrial versus what industrial might sell. We will take into consideration that at the moment, based on the changes that have happened recently with CGT, but obviously there's a lot of other noise about housing crisis and actually availability as well.
There's certainly a need for it. It's just whether it's viable. We need to make sure that whatever we choose, it's not going to have to change our minds again.
It's an economic analysis.
Councillor McQuaid.
Yeah, just a few questions. I think there's a typo on page 4 at the end of C. I just wanted to know what the intended completion of the sentence might have been. Take that on notice if you want to get back to me. The second one was, has council
Wade, what page?
Page 4,
See,
the end of C.
It should be subject to both private and public school offerings with a reasonable distance. There should be a T.
Okay.
We're picking that up.
Has council undertaken any advocacy in regards to possible funding with Link Road?
Sorry,
Uh,
not that I'm.
Yeah, we have, I mean, every time we definitely do to Transport for New South Wales. We've done some work. It's never been finalised, but there was a Greater Warrnambool transport plan that they were working on, and then the strategic Central Coast transport plan as well. And in both those, through those, we've put some advocacy in for the Link Road.
And in terms of the options coming to us, I mean, ultimately, decision of this scale should be made by the elected council with options to be presented to us once all the due diligence is done.
Yes, so we will look to see which of the how far council wants to progress. So I think at the April meeting, Councillor Moreland had obviously concerns about allocating a vast amount of council's capital expenditure towards a project. So we would look about at what stage would council look to sell that off, or if that was an option, whether we would look at doing the. So there'd be different options about at which level council would be able to look at where they would exit to make sure that the project would go ahead.
No worries, thank you.
Councillor Moreland's got a new concern. We've got thousands of houses in that Warrnambool area at the moment, and it's correct, we do need more housing. We haven't created any jobs. You can't buy a cup of coffee, you can't fill your car up. We've built this city with no infrastructure to allow people to act like a regional centre. I think we need to take that into account with any recommendation as well. I'm not sure how many houses that and people that will put into this area, but people are struggling now. They want facilities. The Woolworth shopping centre that's been promised to those residents for decades had never been realised. I think we need to be a little bit careful about putting just more houses in there. People want a community to live in, and they don't have a community.
Councillor Castle.
Yes, to you, Chair. Again, the issue around that Will just raised, certainly I think this needs to be taken into account as well. The fact is people need jobs as well as places to live, because the fact of the matter is if you haven't got jobs close by, and we know that that's really important, we do have high quality jobs near to where people actually live. It really, in a sense, creates a problem rather than solve a
Social issue, because they end up.
It does solve. It helps with one issue, but it actually doesn't help with other issues. So I think I just can't see that it should be an either or. It's got to be a bit more nuanced than that. If we get to a point where there might be a decision going to be made on how to move forward with this as a council. The other issue is around the Link Road, and I think Councillor McQuaid has mentioned that too. But I mean, certainly at the moment, considering we're in an election cycle for the state, we're also not long before we'll be in an election cycle federally. I certainly have heard mention of the Link Road, when speaking with other, federal members and such like. But, I think there is a good opportunity at the moment for, trying to get some sensible answers, basically, and advocacy in terms of that Link Road, because, this is prime time to do it when you're in the middle of an election cycle. Regardless of what your politics are, it's a good time to do it. And so I think that has to be taken into account as well.
Can I just move a recommendation along those? I mean, I think that would be.
Listen all the way through.
Okay. Well, can I just ask, what's the Link Road one of the key enabling projects?
It's been.
Yes, it should be.
Thank you.
I think we're about to get some history here. Councillor Eaton.
I'm happy to jump in after Councillor.
A few comments. First of all, if it does need, if Go Residential needs rezoning, By the time that happens, the market's going to be on the up again. So I don't think that's an issue in terms of the current market state. My understanding is that the land is still zoned for educational use. Is that right? I actually think that's still the best use for it because you get jobs, and there's still a very significant demand for private schools. That's the way, we've got growth in the area, growth in the demand for private schools. I understand, Mr. Chair, that Lakes Grammar have expressed some interest, and I've also had interest from the local Muslim mosque who are looking to relocate and put a school in as well as part of a development. I've suggested that land could be something I could look at. I'm aware that Lakes Anglican Grammar, they're putting their primary school into the old Warren Grove school, so they're expanding, and they're also
Warren Christian.
Warren Christian, yeah. Sorry, yes, Warren Christian, and they're also acquiring a site up at Gwendolyn, somewhere up there, for a new campus as well.
Sorry, is that Lakes Grammar? Is that like?
No, sorry, the
Warren Christian.
Warren Christian School.
Lakes Grammar's already there.
Yeah. But who said Lakes Grammar was?
They want to push south as well, next to their land.
But to me, you'll get
Jobs and
you get the jobs out of that, and it's basic infrastructure that
And what we're still going.
and it's zoned for it already, and which was the original intent. Although originally it was we're trying to get a university originally.
Yeah, so a little bit more history. When we were looking at the Link Road originally, the numbers coming back were like somewhere in the $400 million range. So don't think that, feds are going to come in and say that. So it's going to be a fair while before something happens with that, just like what's happening in Wyong, the road through Wyong. But yes, Lakes Grammar have indicated that they would love to have a look at the land, and then others. But my question, Bill, is can we have both? If you go out to an expression of interest, would you just say that and see what you get back as far as from developers for industrial as opposed to residential? Is that a third option to say, well, let's not just go out and say we want residential there?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's obviously a good way as well to be able to bring back options that we can make sure that we at least get things going, rather than, I think what Councillor Smith said before, rather than someone buying and it just sort of sits there. That's probably not the best intention. It's been sitting there for a while. I think the intent would be is that we want someone to be able to move on it and be able to actually activate it and be able to maybe get some type of a almost guarantee along the way that they're actually going to do it.
Yeah.
Just quickly,
Deputy Mayor.
just to assist Councillor Castles and Councillor McLean, 2014, the region's first infrastructure priority list. Grover's on there.
Oh, yeah, I'm not surprised.
The two councils collaborated. They both agreed it's a priority project. To think what lobby we want about made sense. And every year it got delayed. It just become more.
The legs there on the roundabout at what Nobby.
Yes, that was planned.
Yes.
And through you, Chair,
Councillor Castles.
just quickly, talking about educational services and facilities, I think, though of course this is purely off the top of my head, but certainly obviously we do know a lot of the private educational organisations would may well be interested, as you have said, but you have a growing area, you've got more housing going in, which we know be the case and is the case generally around there. We also have to, I think, consider whether there are any options available for any increased public education facilities in that area, because I don't think necessarily making it a private school enclave is necessarily the perfect option. It's good again if there's some balance there.
Choice.
I know that's a big
School just down the road.
yeah.
So.
Porters Creek's just gone in.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
The issue in the north there at the moment is another high school.
Yeah.
And I think the Department of Education's got land on Hackney Road, supposedly up near where the train station was supposed to be. So maybe we could ask the current local member, state member, about that one. Councillor McQuaid.
Just quickly, it's on the for reference. Is it on the western side of the railway lines? Just on the western side?
Correct.
Building. Yeah.
Any other question?
So it's like, sorry,
No more, councillor McQueen, he's gone. Councillor Smith,
just when we do get a report back, so I assume there's a Warnervale master plan or a greater Warnervale master plan or something. I'd be interested, because I haven't looked at it for a long time, if at all, where this site fits into all of that in terms of housing, town centre, facilities, schools. Like, where could it fill that gap, if at all? What combination could it fill, if that's okay, rather than just deciding on a use and it might not really meet the need?
ask Bill, and see whether he can nod his head.
Yes. He was happy with the nod. So if that could just be referenced when the report comes back in terms of just where it fits in that broader picture.
Are you okay with the guidance you've got from?
Absolutely.
Yeah, you don't need anything other than.
No, we'll come back.
Voting.
Now we're in July. We'll come back in at the September meeting.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of time to go back and start having a look at more detailed items, and we'll capture all of those. And then obviously, hopefully we've got a little bit more information to be able to present.
Just a question about sort of the timing, and yes, I know that Blake's Grammar are looking that northern bit of this plot, a lot of land which is butts onto their facility. Would you do that bit first if they are waiting to build something extra, and then do the rest of the land separately?
If there was an option that was presented, we would obviously bring that as an option, and it'd be up to.
Chair, is that all that really nice vegetation that you're talking about?
No, the vegetation's on the. I don't cut down vegetation.
John's a greenie.
I love the trees. Okay, any other questions? Been a lot of questions, a lot of answers. Thanks, Bill. No?
And good work, because as Councillor Smith said, this has been going around for years. It's nice that we're getting some options.
Okay, so we've got a recommendation up there. Got a mover. I'm noting it. Councillor Newland, seconded.
Should we just note that the report back, or?
That's a standing report.
Standing
Report, thank you.
standing report.
Sorry.
Seconder. Councillor Smith. All those in favour?
Aye.
Unanimous. Thank you, everybody. So I note the next. Okay, I haven't closed yet.
Oh, well, that's why I wanted to grab you. I was just noting whether you might consider going to bi-monthly meetings if
We are considering that.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, excellent.
And to do that, it's lining up with the reports that will be coming back,
Yeah.
and the update of the action items.
Okay, and then the EMP committee can be moved forward, and
I don't know about that, but
fantastic.
It's like a plan.
Yes.
we'll let them worry about their meetings.
Okay.
Okay, so the next meeting is held on at 5 o'clock on Tuesday, the 4th of August. It is a 5:30 here.
Now, are we going September?
No, the next meeting of this
Aren't we July now? Didn't we just say bi-monthly?
not
To be monthly, you need a resolution of council
Yeah.
to change the terms of
No,
reference.
but we could choose to cancel next month's meeting in the short term and just have the.
depends what the director has online for it. So let's talk about that at the next council meeting. At the moment, we're going 5 p.m. on Tuesday, the 4th of August, and I declare the meeting now closed at 5:43 p.m. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair.